In this live self-defense training video, we're gonna be talking about close quarters fighting when you're in an enclosed space, a tight area with your self-defense walking cane. How to defend yourself with your regular walking cane or one of these Cane Master self-defense canes. First thing I'm gonna show you is that I'm gonna have you hold the crook side facing out. In this position, you're gonna bend your knees so that your hand slides down the cane. That's also gonna load up your legs so that when you come up, you have the strength of your legs coming into this first strike. Now you're gonna take this hand with this big hammer on the end of it, and you're gonna shove that straight up into his jaw. So from this position, he's closed the distance, he's too close to you, you can't do any of these slashing strikes. It's hard to get the other hand on it right away and knock him back because he's chest to chest, he's in your face. You're gonna bend your knees a little bit, let your hand slide down the cane, and then as you come up, you're simply making this short motion here, which is a very strong position for you. And if his chin were here, you're bringing it right up. That hurt a little bit. Bring it right up into his chin or whatever you can hit. If you hit his teeth, his nose, into his eyes, that's okay too. It's all for self-defense. So this first motion, bend the knees a little bit. Your other hand comes up. You're gonna put it between, if his hands are on you, put it between him and you, and then you're coming straight up in that first strike. Everything's gonna stay in the center line of his body and within the frame of your shoulders and your hips. From this position, your other hand is gonna come down here and you're gonna lift this up. Now this hand, the wrist becomes the pivot point as you bring this back to your shoulder. Now the crook comes into your shoulder and this comes up hitting him between the legs, hopefully, or maybe up under the chin. The third strike, you're gonna push straight in. Number 4, you're gonna chop down here. Ripping is number 5. Ripping with this Cane Master's beveled edge will remove the skin from his face, the nose off his face, the eye out of his head for self-defense. So first position, this is a 5 straight combination, close quarters fighting with your walking cane, self-defense walking cane. Bend the knees, the other hand comes up, bring this straight up, other hand brings the bottom up. So from here, it grabs it, striking up here, then thrust, pushing him back, aim for the throat, the nose, the teeth, anywhere in the center line of the body, anything you can remove or destroy, moving the back hand forward, chopping in like you're chopping down a door, and then wherever that hits, you're just gonna rake that in and down. Hello, Studer, it's good to see you. Studer says, good morning from the frozen plains, upper Midwest. Thanks for the lesson. Studer, thanks for being here. I always appreciate your support and you training with me. So from here, it's simple. Bend the knees, bring it up, snap this straight up here, coming up here, thrust through the face, chop, and then rip, taking everything off. When you're in this position, you can also shove this thing into his teeth, into his nose, into his eyes. The power of this 5 strike combination, power is that they're all small motions. I had a question recently. You said that you were 70 years old. I'm a woman, I'm 70. I have a small frame. How do I defend myself? And I was thinking, you know, these techniques are all great. This is all really good stuff if you have strong, powerful arms or if you work up to it. But a lot of times we're starting in a much smaller box. We need to keep it more simple. So from this position, whether you're male or female, whether you're big or small, if you bend the knees, you've engaged one of the largest muscle groups of your body. Just with a slight bend, not a deep squat, just a little down and then come up together. So you practice this motion again and again. Every time you practice this motion, you'll get stronger. If it's not easy for you to do that now, put your hand on the back of a chair, the back of the couch, on a countertop or a table, bend, and then let your arm help you pick yourself up, bringing it up. As you do that over and over, maybe 30 seconds every day, you're gonna feel you're getting stronger and faster. Now you're letting the hard piece of oak, this is oak, you can have these Cane Masters canes made in hickory. I recommend hickory, and I recommend getting a 7/8 inch hickory cane. This is the Dojo cane from Cane Masters, which is less than 50 bucks. You can see all of that on that first link below. Hello, G. Carlton, good to see you. Yeah, G. Carlton asked for close quarters Joe staff, and we can do that too. It's going to be very similar, but there's no limit to the techniques you can do if you focus on the principles of self-defense. Number 1, situational awareness. Pay attention to what's happening around you. Number 2, get in a better position. step back, make your body a smaller target. If he's closed the distance and his hands are on top of you, you can step back a little bit. Number 3, ask yourself the question, what can I remove or destroy? In this case, we're saying that the answer is his throat, his ability to breathe permanently or temporarily, smashing through the teeth. Yeah, Garen says if you do these exercises where you're assisting yourself and you're just bending, eventually you're gonna be able to do a one-leg pistol squat. Now, I don't know if that's true. My hips are bone on bone. I got bone spurs in there and got a lot of damage I have to undo. But I believe Garen's right. I believe if you move in a certain direction, you'll get there eventually, one way or the other. Hey, Michael, it's good to see you. Michael says, good morning. So from here, practice this first motion. Always get this hand up. Get this hand between you and the threat. If he's already on top of you, put it right here. Yeah, Michael says ozone injection. I've heard that is very helpful. Thank you, Janet. You're welcome. Janet says, thank you for addressing the older female concern. Janet, I do have several students here in person and online who are women who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they are able to do all of these techniques eventually, little by little. There are things that they can do that you can do right now, and there are things that you'll get better at and stronger at. And what's the alternative? Just wasting away and waiting for something to happen, or taking a little bit of action and seeing. And I always say, I've said this since I began working with special needs students years and years ago who had great physical challenges, cerebral palsy, dwarfism, kids with Down syndrome, and parents would say to me, I don't think my son, I don't think my daughter can do this thing. And I would say, I don't know, and you don't know. Don't tell him, he doesn't know, and only God knows. And let God figure it out, right? Because, and we truly don't. I don't know, you don't know, Janet, what you can do over time, but if you do a little bit every day, I promise you will get stronger, you'll get better. And these techniques, as you start to come up over and over again, might take a few weeks. Eventually, you're gonna have so much power in that little motion that when he sticks his nasty face in front of yours and he's in your face and he's barking and yelling or he's doing nasty things, and you bend the knees, hello from Scotland, and you bring this straight up and you smash his teeth and his tongue gets, the tip of his tongue comes flying off into your face, and you wipe that off, and then you smash this up between his legs, and then you smash that through his throat, and you chop that into his temple, and then you rip the eyes right out of his face. You can do all of that. Yeah, AM says there's a warrior inside of all of us. But the reason these techniques work is because small motion, your center line, bringing it up, bringing it through here, and then ripping. You're not bringing your hands outside. You're not bringing your hands up. And you can do exercises. I've had my shoulders have been a little sore this week, so I start every day just doing this, loosening it up, and then I'll put some sticks in there. I'll put some Indian clubs in there. I start doing the mill, and after a while, you get stronger and faster. There's no limit to what you can do, even if and you know, there are real limitations. I really do have no cartilage left in my hips. I really do have little pockets in there that get stuck and little bone spurs in there that rip things and the wincing pain, but they're there, right? Yeah, Janice says good advice. It's a starting point. Amen. So from here, practice 1, coming up 2, 3, 4, 5, ripping here. From here, you can also smash in. I like this idea. Yeah, Dougie's in Aberdeenshire. Smashing in here or here into the nose and here into the eye. I was trying to think of where I was a few years ago in Dan Pena's castle up there. I think it's close to Aberdeenshire. Smashing through the nose, smashing through here, ripping through that way. Beautiful part, just beautiful country. I love Scotland. I love England. I love Ireland. You know, just one island over. Beautiful, beautiful land. Lots of big open spaces. 1, coming up 2, 3, thrusting through. I think that maybe was what I was missing before. Smashing here, and then a ripping. So practice those 5 in combination. And remember that the power comes from the simplicity of the technique. Don't overthink it. Don't over complicate it. Don't tell yourself that you can't do it. If you feel like saying I can't do it, say I can't do it yet. And then who knows if you can do it or not. Janet, I put a link below. Janet asked where can the cane be found. I put a link below to this particular cane, Cane Masters canes, You can have them made any way you want. And there's a link below in the first link for Cane Masters, and that'll take you to their site, and you can see about what they cost, what all the different things are. You can go from the most inexpensive kind of cane like this, which is the Dojo training cane. This is the one I use every single day. I have one on the wall that is my fancy walking cane that I might take with me on a trip. And then I have one in my car, which is even more beautiful, which I just got back from getting gas. And as I pump my gas, I get out of my car, I turn my cane around, and I pump my gas, and I'm standing like this. And it's just because I get the least expensive gas, and where I get gas, there are a lot of people who are loitering about, lingering, and every once in a while, sometimes not those people, but some people who might do that, they have ill intent. So I have the ability to practice what I preach and defend myself using my walking cane and create some distance, keep them off of me. Yeah, Michael says he takes his cane to the gas station and the ATM. ATM, that's another place you need to be on super high alert, especially these days. Pay attention to what's happening around you while it's happening. Bring a stick for self-defense. Bring your walking stick or your Joe, or bring your walking cane. Walking cane, especially Cane Masters canes, have the most amazing features for self-defense, especially that one right there, that little tooth. So pulling this, I mean, it's nasty to think about, but the teeth out of them. I've seen the teeth come out of someone's mouth, a horse hoof of this girl's face, big teeth this long in the front of her face. He's out there in the footing looking for it. Nasty stuff. You can imagine what this would do in the purpose of self-defense. This is all for self-defense, not for fighting, not for schoolyard fights or bully fights. This is life or death, you or him, using violence against violence. So one last time, bring this hand up, use your legs, the power of your legs in this small motion, lifting up, pushing here. There's the second strike, lifting this up here. Maybe it hits between his legs, maybe it rakes up his body, smashes his teeth, and again his tongue comes flying off, and then thrust that coming straight into his nose, his teeth, his throat for self-defense, into the solar plexus. After you create some distance, pushing your hand, simply pushing forward. It's not a chopping motion, it's a push. You can do this very easily. This requires stronger shoulders. So if your shoulders aren't as strong, don't do this. But this you'll be able to do easily, right? From here, and then if you need to, hit them again, pushing them back, or simply take that tooth and rake it across whatever you need to. And then he falls to the ground, writhing in pain. Cops come, scoop him up, you go home safely. It's your human right to defend yourself. Yeah, AM says when we all refuse to be a victim, we won't be a victim anymore. You might not ever use this. You might not ever need it. But if you're prepared, your anxiety goes down, your fear level goes down, you get out of the house more, your body starts to move more, you start to get healthier, your mind lets go of more fears, you start to sleep better at night, you start to feel better about the world that we live in, you start to see that for every one bad person, there are a million good people out there trying to do the right thing and trying to live with in this society together and be nice, kind to one another. And you realize that the nasty, disgusting people are extremely, extremely small, and they've been amplified by the media, right? They want us to be frightened, they want us to be afraid. So a lot of my training, whether or not you'll ever use it, is not the point. It's giving you the confidence, it's giving you the belief, it's giving you the belief in your right, your God-given right to defend yourself. Take that right, train it every day, do a little bit, learn how to do just a couple of simple things that'll force you to breathe. You'll get outside, your whole perspective will change. We'll all be nice to each other, and the world will change. It only changes within us, right? I believe that firmly. The world changes within us and because of us. So yeah, AM says, fear not. Check out the first link below for the Cane Masters canes. If you want a book on self-defense, it's the best book on self-defense I've ever seen. I know my friend Tim Miller is writing a book on self-defense, so we'll wait to see and we'll compare them. They'll probably complement each other. But another Tim Larkin wrote a book called When Violence is the Answer. A lot of these principles of self-defense, situational awareness. Ask yourself the question, what can I remove or destroy? That's well defined in his book. You want to understand it really well, read When Violence is the Answer. He's got great anecdotes. He paints you a great picture. And that link is below too. It's called When Violence is the Answer. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you very much.